Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and blasttheradio.com, this is The Lowell Green Show. The number to call and be heard around the world is 613-413-2217. Or email Lowell at blasttheradio.com. And now, here is Lowell Green.
Thank you, John. So, what do you think? Has the time come finally for Ontario to be opened up completely? Common sense and, interestingly enough, the data say yes, absolutely. Open her up, Doug. Open her up completely. End the mandatory mask rule. Open all of our stores to full attendance, restaurants, gyms, arenas, ballparks, full attendance everywhere. Common sense, and I repeat, the data say yes. And I'll get into some of that in just a moment. Yesterday afternoon, I have to tell you, I'm sitting in an empty waiting room in Stittsville. I'm waiting to be summoned for an ultrasound and x-ray of a damaged left knee. It's been driving me crazy, okay? Now, the waiting room is empty. Well, there was, for maybe 2 minutes, there was a young lady at the far end. But essentially, for 20, 25 minutes, maybe half an hour, I am sitting there in an empty waiting room with this freaking mask stuck to my face. Because I'm one of those guys, I do it properly. I got it up over my nose and so forth. I don't like it, but I mean, you get used to it, and it's been absolutely necessary. I'm not denying that. It has done wonders for this province, no question about it. But I'm sitting there, and I'm beginning to realize, you know what? This is crazy. This is nuts. I'm sitting here in an empty room with a mask plastered to my face because a few stupid, selfish people refuse to get vaccinated, and I and you, most of the rest of the province, has got to pay the price. Because the facts are, almost all new COVID cases, and we've gone through this many times before, are among the unvaccinated. This is their choice. There are plenty of vaccines available for everybody that wants them. In some places, we are begging people, come get your shot, almost ready to bribe them. In some jurisdictions, they're bribing people to come and get their shot. So essentially, this has now become a disease, and we've said this before, and I'm not the only one. This is generally acknowledged, that it's now become a disease almost exclusively for the unvaccinated. This is their choice. They choose to take this risk, but in the process, they're driving the rest of us crazy, taking money out of business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, denied entry to restaurants and all the rest, everything that we've had to do. So much of it is pure hypocrisy, on top of everything else. And I'm going to get into the data in a minute. You'll be very, very surprised. But so much of this is pure hypocrisy anyway. Look, we have done what we are supposed to do in Ontario, and we have done it bloody well. As a matter of fact, if you look at the facts today, look at the data today, you will see that Ontario has probably done better when it comes to fighting COVID and keeping it under control than any other jurisdiction in the world. They may have done a little bit better in Israel, but generally speaking, we, in the end, now it took us a long time, thanks to Trudeau, but finally, in the end, we did what we were supposed to. We wore our masks, we kept our distance, we washed our hands, we got vaccinated when it was available, etc. And as a consequence, we have one of the best records, honest to God, check it out. We have one of the best, and by the way, Brian Lilly in The Sun today talks about this a little bit. We have one of the best records for handling this, keeping it under control of any jurisdiction in the world, in the province of Ontario. Yes, we have. We've beaten the virus almost into total submission, certainly into near submission. It's well under control, okay? I mean, the facts are there. It's well under control. Running somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 new cases a day. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes a little more. But on average, for the past week or so, maybe a bit more, about 300 new cases a day. Now, they keep touting this and the headlines, the scary headlines. would have you believe this is terrible. You know, the incidence is up. Is that up? Is it up? But wait. What's the population of Ontario? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's almost 15 million people. Okay? So we've got on average about 300 new cases. Do you have any idea what percentage that is of the total population? It's sweet bugger all. It is statistically insignificant. Thanks to Debbie, my wife, she did the mathematics on this morning. 300, let's say the average of 300 new cases in a population of 15 million amounts to 0.00002. And she's just saying in the background probably another zero. So there may be 5 zeros. Let's go through that again. You can do the math yourself. Don't take it from me. I'm one of the guys. I mean, I'm part of the, I don't know, out there trying to lie to you, I guess, as far as a lot of the anti-vaxxers are concerned. I'm a commie terrorist. So, okay. So do the math yourself. About 300 new cases on average in a population of 15 million. I'll give it 5. 0.0000002. Wait a minute. I'm sitting in an empty waiting room with a mask stuck to my face because we have an incidence of 0.0000002. Wait a minute. I mean, and not only that, but as I mentioned, the hypocrisy. The data certainly doesn't justify what's going on here. How about the hypocrisy? Let's take the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, for the better part of 2 years, they weren't even allowed into the country, for God's sake. So finally, they get into Rogers Stadium. Now, the seating capacity of Rogers is about 45,000, and there have been times when 45 or more have been jammed in there. But because of COVID, because of 0.000000002%, only 15,000 are allowed in there. But the hypocrisy is astonishing. They're supposed to be masked. If you look at the television, you'll see, maybe 30% of them are masked. Sometimes they take it down, put it up. Some of them have been lower, and half of them at least have no mask whatsoever. Not only that, but the 15,000 are all jammed in together around home plate. So, I mean, what's the point of jamming 15,000 people together and the rest of the stadium is empty, for God's sake? Why not just jam everybody? I mean, it's craziness. It's pure hypocrisy. It's pure bullshit. Sorry to use the word, but I can't think of anything more appropriate. It's not only that, but all of this today. Now, it wasn't always this way. I mean, I have supported the masking and the lockdowns reluctantly right along, as you very well know. I've been a staunch supporter of getting more vaccines, getting people. So you know where I stand on that. But the time has come to put it aside. We have licked this thing. We have beaten it into submission, except for those dumbheads out there who won't get vaccinated. But why should the rest of us be punished because a few stupid, selfish people won't do what they should do and could do and get vaccinated? For what? Why are we doing this? Let's hear what some other people out there have got to say. John, some text coming in.
Yep, and our number here is 613-413-2217. We'd love to hear from you. Also following live on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube as well. Peter says it's time for Ontario to be opened up 110%. Let her rip, he says.
Absolutely.
Ann says Ford needs to be a leader and not worry about the votes. Open up. The unions don't vote for you anyway. Deborah says, hi, everyone. Yes, I feel it's time to open up in Ontario. Joshua says there will always be a chance of COVID, just like there are chances of catching other illnesses, just as there is a chance you can get into an accident if you choose to drive. If you're sick,
but now,
stay home.
but essentially, and this is a very important point, with very, 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 very rare exception, the only people now coming down with COVID are the unvaccinated. This is their choice. My position is, look, if you choose to be this stupid and get infected because, today, if you don't get vaccinated with this mutation, this Delta, you're begging for it, okay? So if you're begging for it, go ahead and get it. All right? But leave the rest of us alone. That's what I'm saying. And the percentage is so small as to be, I bet you nobody really thought about how small a percentage this is. I mean, here's the mainstream media. out there. They're still trying to scare us, for God's sake, because there's 300 new cases. I repeat, 300 new cases in a population of 15 million. I mean, your chances of now, if you have been fully vaccinated, your chances of getting COVID now seriously are about as good as dying from a mosquito bite. I may be exaggerating, but not much. Okay. If you don't want to get vaccinated, okay, today enough of us have been vaccinated. Go ahead. Pull the plug on yourself. Put a noose around your neck and throw it over a damn branch someplace if that's what you want to do. But don't make me pay for it, okay? Don't make me sit there in an empty damn waiting room with my mask stuck over my face because you won't get vaccinated. John, more text coming in.
Yep. Chris, regarding the number, says something very wrong with that. An email from our friend Rob in Carlton Place. He says, it seems Doug Ford is waiting for a certain percentage of fully vaccinated people. It does not look like we're going to get there anytime soon by begging. I am losing patience, Rob says. The carrot is not working. Bring out the stick. Let's get on with this so we can get back to normal. Mike says, wow, that's almost the same percentage the anti-vaxxers were using at the beginning, telling us what their chances of getting COVID were. And Chrissy says, I think for the economy, it's definitely time to open up 100%. Look at the crowds out west for the CFL games this past weekend. I will still continue to wear a mask if the mandatory mask is lifted.
You know, I'm glad she mentioned that. I should have mentioned that. Yes, absolutely. There are a lot of people, and I suspect my wife may be one of them, I don't know, that will still wish to wear a mask. And I understand that. And that would be your right. If you want to go in and mask, if you want to sit in an empty waiting room or wherever, go to a restaurant, whatever it is, with a mask, that will be your right. But the chances now, if you are fully vaccinated, your chances of getting COVID are very, very slim. And your chances of getting COVID so that you are seriously ill are almost zero. But I repeat, folks, your chances, if 300 new cases a day or thereabouts, I mean, that is, I'll go through this again because the media doesn't seem to get this. That is 0.00002% of the total population. And we're masking up and closing. My wife loves yoga. She goes to, now she's in a beautiful gym. That the room that she is in is built to accommodate very, very comfortably with proper distance, 35 people. But they're restricted to 17. My fear is that this business won't be able to survive with that. Come on. And restaurants, 50%. I mean, the restaurants, many of them are hanging on with their fingernails anyway, and restricted to 50%. Why? Stupid. 15,000 in a 45,000 seat stadium. And they're all jammed around home plate. It's crazy. Shields. Yes. Here we go again. One of the things that, and I've had several people inquire, yes, there are some very, very good financing deals available, depending upon the length of time that you wish to pay, no interest, etc. So, in other words, there's a great deal of flexibility when it comes to financing. Yes, available. Whatever sort of a deal may be available at a big box store, they can offer you the same at Shields and probably better. And you're dealing with a local firm. You're dealing with a firm that will be able to deliver whatever appliance or accoutrement to the appliance that you want within the next 2 or 3 days. And when it comes to some appliances, the delivery man has now been trained. He may be able to install so that it can be all done there at the same time. It's all up to you. All of the information is available, very, very easy to access, very understandable at shields.ca. All of the prices, all of the product, all of the benefits, all of the financing, all available for you to see right there. What I still don't always, when I drive by some of these big box stores, I still see cars all lined up. Why do you want to send your money to China? Can I ask you something? What has China ever done for you that you want to send your money to China? I would ask the same question of Justin Trudeau, but we know the answer. But you, I mean, you've got some common sense. So you're lined up at a box store and you're going to send your money to China when there's a firm just up the valley that can have the thing probably at a cheaper price, a better price, faster delivery, and maybe even give you a couple of T-bone steaks, and you're still shipping your money off to China. It's nuts. Thank you, John. You ever see a commercial like that before?
Only on the Lowell Green Show.
You know what? But it's true. It's true.
Oh, I know.
What I'm saying is absolutely true. I just think that people don't don't realize. They see the commercials, the big box store, their name is familiar and so forth. Yeah, but it's owned by some consortium that's centered somewhere in Ubangi. Go ahead, John. You got some more.
It's like anything. We're just conditioned to hit the same old places, right? And
is that what it is?
Yeah, we expect it because they're so big. I'd rather deal with a little guy. And I love, by the way, after having gone through the installation of my own fridge and the water line to it, I love that they're even. I know they don't offer installation on all their appliances, but
no. I don't think they can do electrical work. For example, if you have to hook up something electrically,
probably not plumbing either. But anyway,
no, it's
right. I mean, not everybody is handy like I am, so that's very convenient. Just one more comment. Things are pretty quiet on this.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
What?
I know.
What?
I know. Where are you people? Hello.
Holy smokes! I'm calling for. Do you not want the province to be opened up? I'm sending all of this stuff is going to be sent to Doug Ford. Okay?
I guess you're not being controversial enough, Lowell.
Well, come on, folks. I mean, if you want this province to open up, or if you disagree, if you got concerns, express it. This is how democracy works. You can't leave it all to some guy down there in Queen's Park. There's a responsibility on each one of us to express your views. Here's the chance to do it, and we're sending it all off to Doug. I'll be talking to Doug Ford this afternoon. I'm going to tell him their response. I can't believe that we're not being flooded with people with comments on this.
Oh, we got a
go ahead.
Peter says the Toronto media is pushing the fourth wave. I guess when Trudeau calls the election, they'll start talking about him and no longer be pushing that fourth wave. And Robert just chimed in moments ago, says, I don't know why people are blaming Ford still when Ontario is doing so well with the pandemic. Ford has an excellent track record as
No, but can we deal, please, with the issue here? I mean, I appreciate that comment, but do you want this province to be opened up or not? I'm sending everything that you say. I'm going to talk with Doug Ford this afternoon. I'm going to tell him what the listeners to this program are saying. But if you're not going to say anything, then what the hell? I mean, if you don't care if it's opened up, well, okay. It's up to you, folks.
All right, so I just posted on your Facebook feed very simply. Open Ontario, yes or no?
Right. Okay. No more text coming in. That's really disappointing. I just say, listen, let the chips fall where they may. If people want to continue masking up, no problem. You certainly would be welcome to do that. If stores and restaurants want to restrict admission to only the vaccinated, that will be their right. But at this point, with the percentage so small of people becoming infected and almost every single one unvaccinated, why are we putting ourselves through this? Okay, if we don't get any more response, I'm just simply going to conclude the program, folks.
We're getting some responses. It's yes, 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 yes. Open up the province. Craig says, I just tuned into the show. If I get you right, you're suggesting Ontario open up. Yes, I agree with you. Big yes from Peter. Big yes from Terry. Only for people vaccinated, says Leanne. Yes, says Robert. It's unanimous. It's a yes all the way around.
Open her up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'm going to sign off early. Before I do that, I'm just going to get a little plug in here for Centennial Glass. And once again, we're dealing with a local firm here. I the same argument. Why deal with the big box store when you've got somebody who can do the job just as well, probably a bit better? That's locally, it's family owned and operated. Centennial Glass, no matter what it is, if it's glass, custom made glass, glass furniture, glass windows, doors, etc., nobody does it better at better pricing than Centennial Glass. Thank you all, folks. I'm sorry. Oh, we have some more texts coming in. Okay.
You scared them, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand people sometimes.
I know. There's also a bit of a delay, but we can't really factor that in. People are quiet today. Lowell, I think that even after COVID, hospitals should make masks mandatory. Flu, colds, and other viruses are airborne, so other sick people in the hospital aren't exposed. Carrie says yes, and open the land border. Dan says it's time to open up and let the cards fall where they may. Mike says, sorry, Lowell, I think we need to wait a couple more weeks to make sure the cases still don't keep rising like in the States, Israel, and a lot of other places. Darlene says, open Ontario, no more masking. All businesses need to survive. And now it's quiet again.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Very, very clearly, there's not a whole lot of interest, which is unfortunate. Thank you all. We'll be back tomorrow.
The Lowell Green Show is seen and heard live around the world at 2 p.m. Eastern. Connect with us online at blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. Can't join us live? Download the Lowell Green Podcast. Available on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Ask your smart speaker to play the Lowell Green Podcast. This is a production of blasttheradio.com.